All right. So Niki Lauda, did you meet him in preparation for the role?
Yes, yeah, I did a couple of times, and that was extremely helpful because to play him was not that easy, because we don't have that much in common. He's very different, and it freaked me out at first to play someone who is famous and alive, and who is such an icon and a living legend. And I mean, in Germany, when I was a kid, I already knew who Niki Lauda was. I grew up in Western Germany, in Cologne, near the racetrack, the Nürburgring, where the accident happened. So, Niki's a hero, and I thought, like, how am I supposed to play this guy? And if you have the luck to have a good relationship with that person, it makes life so much easier because you can't get any better information than from the actual living source. So of course I read his biography and I watched a lot of documentaries and to get his body language right and his accent. I worked with a dialect coach. I learned how to drive these race cars and all of that. That was important, but a crucial thing for me was to ask Niki tons of questions, and he was very supportive and
How old is he now?
64, I think.
And he's still racing?
No, he's not. I mean, no. He became a pilot, and then he owned 2 flight companies, and he's still around as a tough businessman. He's still into Formula One because he's working for Mercedes. So he's relentless. He's working like crazy. So that's why I was so thankful that he spent so much of his precious time with me to help me and give me advice. And also when we shot the movie, very often I would call him at 6 o'clock in the morning when we were standing there on set, and all of a sudden we would have like questions about stupid details, but we wanted to make it accurate and right. So I called him 6 o'clock in the morning saying, Niki, how was that again? Do you put your gloves on first and then the helmet, or first the helmet and then the gloves? And he said, no, you idiot, first. And I'm very, very thankful because that was not only helpful for me, but also for Ron Howard and for Peter Morian. And it's good to know that the Formula One world also approved the movie and loved it. There was a screening at the racetrack at the Nürburgring with Bernie Eccleston and with many of the drivers. I couldn't attend it because I was shooting a movie, but Ron was there, and he called me and got so emotional, and he said, Daniel, you can't believe it was the best screening after Apollo 13,
You're doing a good imitation. So the secret heart of this, though, obviously, is what makes a man like that tick in terms of being so fearless and so driven, obviously, So can you get to some sense of that? Were you able to figure that out?
Well, when I first made my first Formula 3 course in Spain, way before the movie, to learn how to drive a race car, I understood why young guys want to become a race driver. It's highly addictive. It's pure adrenaline. So it made me understand the passion for that sport, and Niki just, as a kid, found out that this was his thing, that he was really good, and that he had a good ass to understand a car. So he was not only a very talented driver, but also on a technical level, he was very clever. He was the first driver who actually who had this quality. Drivers nowadays all have it in a way, but Niki was a kind of a pioneer.
So you have to be a bit of a techno design geek as well.
Yeah. That's why he was so good back in the days, because that was the difference between him and James Hunt. As Niki said, James was a very talented driver, and he was very quick and fearless. But Niki, on top of that, had this extra, skill of, understanding a car and improving the car. He was the first one to work like that. And then, still, if you're a normal human being like me, a lot of things including the you know that overcoming fear and being so fearless was something that you know I couldn't quite get. You know, I was just in long conversations with Niki. I understood what he was saying, but still my approach to that was tricky, you know, because you somehow have to think of your own fears and of experiences that come close to that, but it's in comparison it's also ridiculous, you know, because this guy was really facing death, and then after 42 days in hospital he overcame that fear and went on driving, you know.
Partly because he was competing with
James
the
Hunt.
other
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I have to say, the chemistry between you was palpable. It was great. It was really fun, and there was a contrast there. That makes it work.
Yeah, it it was nice to work with Chris because we both didn't need that rivalry, you know. We didn't have to create this fake rivalry, you know, to play our parts. There was really that good chemistry that you would see at the end of the movie, which is still my favorite scene. You know, when you see those two different guys with their very different philosophies. They're both likable. That's one of the qualities of that wonderful script. I think Peter Morgan is just a genius when it comes to stories based on real characters, you know. Because it's not a conventional film where you eventually have a hero and a villain, but you have two guys that you would have empathy with, you know, and they're likable. And I wasn't sure at first if Niki would be likable at all, you know. After shooting 1 week, I said to Peter Morgan, to Ron, hey, will the guys like me? I mean, I'm a bit of an asshole. And Peter was so clever. He said, no, trust me, there's a sense of humor in it. And trust the journey of the character, you know. You have to be a rat at first, you know. But then, towards the end, people will like you. And Niki just said to me, when he first watched the movie, he was also frightened and he was asking me, do you think I'm really an asshole? Such an asshole? Like, oh, it's shocking. And I said, no, Niki, actually, the more I get to know you, the more likable you are, you know. And it's
true.
Yeah. And there is something, I love playing characters that I partly envy, you know. And I envy Niki for being so straightforward and so fearless, not only as a driver, but also referring to his attitude towards people, you know. He's 100% honest. And I'm like very often avoiding conflicts and making use of white lies and, you know, being very diplomatic. And it's great to see someone who is not like that at all, you know. So sometimes when I wanted to complain about things, and I didn't dare to say it, I just put on the Niki voice, and it helped, you know. When the food wasn't good, I said to the caterers, the food is shit, food is terrible, and then I got something better.
So you're also here with The Fifth Estate, so you're having a good year.
Yeah.
These two big Hollywood movies,
Yeah,
and great characters to play.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a new step for me, and I'm so honored to be at this wonderful festival in Toronto. It's an extremely strong year with so many great movies, and to be part of that and presenting two of the movies, makes me very proud.
Thank you.
Thank you.